It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday. It is September 11th. I just want to say I couldn't be happier to be here right now. Couldn't be happier to be sober as a judge. There's my announcement for the day. I'm in a great mood, a great night's sleep. I'm feeling fresh. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful day. And you know what? And I mean, I'm not going to belabor the point. Let's just get right to it. The top 5 at 6. Here's the things you need to know to get your Wednesday up and running on the right foot. Teenagers in this country, the United States of America, are just not smoking as much weed as once done. In fact, teenagers are they're walking the straight and narrow. Go figure. Over the past 10 years or so, cannabis use has increased among Americans in households making a little bit more money, more people with college degrees. But teens, the kids, teenagers, both weed, alcohol, and vaping down since 2020. And a lot of people are saying, well, it's, they have more information about the bad health decisions. No, that's nuts. You know what it is? It's becoming more and more legalized, and therefore a huge amount of the charm has been removed. We smoked weed for the future. We did this. We sacrificed so that kids today could say, why are you guys stoned all the time? Just because, it's legal now. What's the big deal? So you're welcome, teenagers. You're welcome.
Right, just like we did with alcohol. Our parents are big boozers. That's why we laid off the booze. Wait a minute. You know what teenagers are good at? Lying. And I think the kids aren't out there smoking the grass because the charm is worn out. Yeah, I mean, come on. Who are you kidding?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's right. Whatever. It's I don't know where this study comes from, but calling BS on this one.
That is true. They are trying to get into college, and they are monitoring their own TikToks a little more closely now. Good point. I retract everything I said. I mean, actually, you're entirely right. They're just more full of crap than any generation before. In your face, teenagers. Number 4. Speaking of which, number 4 in your top 5 at 6. A woman named Sally Duvall is running for Congress in Texas. She's not a teenager. She's an upper middle-aged woman from the look of her. I'd say she's at least in her 50s, maybe 60s. And she wants to legalize marijuana in the Lone Star State. So much so that she's just ripping a joint in a new TV ad. We've got a little bit of it for you.
My name is Sally Duvall, and I'm running for the Texas House of Representatives. They arrest people every day for marijuana possession, but they don't have the funding to test if it's illegal marijuana or a federally legal hemp product. Our laws are confusing and unclear. Texans should have the freedom to consume these products if they want to. You can visit my website to read all about my common sense policy. I'm Sally Duvall, and I believe it's high time for change in Texas.
If you're wondering what that sound was, that's her ripping a bong.
Yeah, you can hear it right there at the end. I'll replay that. Yeah, right at the end, she just... That's funny.
I'm a big fan of anybody who, in their ad for Congress, what's one thing to sit there on the porch with the joint, she picks that bong up in her kitchen at the end, and she's just like, yeah, here you go. I can't remember the last time I hit a bong, but it's still reassuring to see someone do it. I can tell you that. Number 3, there's that sound. There's that sound.
Oh, let me set that over here.
Remember when the Replacements Tim album was released, and at the end of Swingin' Party, you hear that, and everyone's like, wait, is that a bong? Wait, play that back, play that back. That swept the nation, and the excitement we all felt to know somebody put a bong rip on an album that wasn't Cheech and Chong. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. Queensland, Australia, the health department has gone viral because they posted online they're encouraging citizens to poop at work. That's what they're saying, guys. We got to get more of this done at work. They have a little song. They have a song. It's a whimsical little image. There's dolphins and rainbows. And the post says, it's okay to poo at work. A lot of people find it difficult, even though it's nothing to be embarrassed about.
What?
Yeah, it's important to hear. People ignoring the need to go it can lead to hemorrhoids and intestinal internal blockages. Just let it rip. And they're saying there's a lot of people who are a little nervous about going at work. And of course, I grew up with a guy like that. His name was my dad. He would come home from work to drop a deuce. It was the strangest thing. We're like, Dad, like they got toilets where you work. I just was in the neighborhood, son. Like, wow, okay.
That's all about.
I wait. Stop for this magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in a small town, but still, it was a couple miles. It wasn't like across the street. The Germans, God bless the Germans, they have a word, Heimscheißer. It's a real word, and it means someone who's unable to poop outside the comforts of their own home. The word literally means home shitter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's that's eloquent. I like that. I don't see. I have a very messy diet. I wait until I get to work. Sometimes I'll get off the couch and drive into work and just lay it all over the. We have professional cleaners around here. You know what I'm saying?
Leave your tracks.
Yes, I appreciate that. I just wish I'd learned German in high school instead of French. Then I could have said to my dad, "Hey, Heim Scheisser," and he would have been like, "I wonder what he's talking about."
Hi, son.
Well, the German's coming along pretty well.
It sure is, Heim Scheisser. Number 2 on your top 5 and 6. The Twins got a win last night, 10-5 victory over the Los Angeles Angels. I will never, ever, that will never roll off the tongue to me. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, a 10-5 win. The Twins had lost 15 of their prior 21, but they still have a 3-game edge in the wild card with 17 games to go. Most importantly, however, the summer sausage, the rally sausage, that piece of meat that led the team to such early season promise has returned to the dugout. Kyle Farmer said, it doesn't smell good right now, I can tell you that.
What, the same one?
Looks like it's the same one. We're waiting for confirmation.
Man. Hey, whatever it takes.
Many days, and there's no doubt that when that thing opens up, whoever's touching it is in deep trouble. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that we are carrying around something that is very, very unhealthy to the human body.
Whatever turns it around for this team. Come on, guys. Royce Lewis pulled from the lineup 0 for 20.
If that's all it's going to take, guys, I bathe in that sausage. Come on, let's get some wins.
Bring on the listeria.
There you go. It's not a boar's head sausage, is it?
Boy, that would just be too perfect. Morning shout out to Apple Valley. Or as the Germans would. No, I actually don't know what the Germans call it. Sorry, Apple Valley, beautiful part of the world, Apple Valley, Minnesota. Glad to have you with us on the morning, and glad you were not in Atlanta yesterday. Finally, number 1 on your top 5 and 6 at the Atlanta airport. 2 Delta planes got a little frisky on the runway yesterday, as in a giant plane bound for Tokyo smacked into a tiny little commuter plane. Delta Flight 295 taxiing for departure. It's a wide body, big boy going over the Pacific Ocean, and it just walks up next to this little commuter flight, an Endeavor flight, and just takes off the tail. The wings clipped, and it literally, like the back, there are photographs, the back tail, the whole tail of the smaller plane was detached and removed. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Obviously, on the runway, there were no injuries reported. I'm sure there was some freaking out going on, as you might expect. But it certainly could have been worse, I suppose. But it's never a good idea to put 2 planes in contact with each other, even on the ground.
No.
That would be a terribly, terribly stressful situation. For me, anyway. What can I tell you?
I know.
Speaking of stress, the children have returned to school, and one mom has decided enough is enough. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talkin' text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning. It is Wednesday. School is back all across America, and a mother of a kindergarten student. She's got 3 kids. Her youngest is in kindergarten. Posted a TikTok video, and it has gone viral. She says she emailed her son's teacher because the homework for her kindergarten student, it's just too much. We've got a little bit of a lengthy video that she posted.
This is a little PSA for any parents that might not know this, and I just recently learned this, is that you can actually opt out of homework for your children. I didn't know that until recently, and I just sent my son's kindergarten teacher a cutesy little email saying, I'm sorry, based on the stress, mental, physical anxiety it's causing my kid, we are done. We are done opting out for the rest of the year. On the first week of school, maybe the first day, he got this packet. It's for August. It doesn't look like it's all that bad, but it's about 15 to 20 pages, double-sided. You do the math.
You do the math, Brian. 15 to 20 pages, double-sided. You do the math.
I can do the math because I went to school at a time where we had to do our frickin' homework.
Yeah, that's right.
As the video goes on, I'll encourage you to check it out on TikTok if you want to. It's right there on the top of the TikTok trending page, but it only gets more and more. It ends with both of them crying. And she didn't even want to drop him off at school at that, that torture chamber that we call school. Well,
for the record,
it's the end.
Those 15 to 20 pages, they're not like, it doesn't look like 15 or 20 pages we would get. It's like one page is 4 drawings, 2 horses, 2 dogs, and it's like, which ones are the same?
I know, right?
That's what it is. It's like there's a horse and a dog and a horse, and you have to look and go, that's a horse and so is that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the homework we're talking about. And I am not going to begrudge a kindergartner for struggling to know the difference between a horse and a dog. But lady, he doesn't know the difference between a horse and a dog. Yeah. That's on you.
Yeah, keep him right there in the basement until you both die. I mean, for the rest of his life. Thanks for raising someone that the rest of everyone else's kids are going to have to deal with. I mean, it goes on and on. She said what she wanted him to do was 1 page of that 15 pages before school.
Yeah.
And he couldn't watch his shows. He couldn't play his games before school. He had to sit there with his bowl of cereal and do a page of homework, and it ended up with both of them just crying.
Yeah, that's I mean, so let's think about this. Is that kid's name must be like Charleston?
Yeah, it's got to be. I don't even know if she mentioned it. And the kid's not in the video, thankfully. But, it's just a big eye roll and the beginning of the end, I think. Yeah.
This is my son. His name is Prairie. Okay, all right. Okay, never mind. Let's just move on. Let's move on. I want to meet the kid across the street whose name is Bog. Bog is gonna do just fine with that homework, lady. Prairie ain't got a chance.
No.
That's on you. Oh my God. Let's look back. My first day of 5th grade, I showed up late because my family moved from one state to another, and I was handed 2 full weeks. I mean, school was 2 weeks old when I got there. They gave me 2 weeks of homework, and the next day, on day 2, I didn't have all of it done. I did a lot of it, but not all of it. I got paddled. I got a paddle on my ass for not completing 2 weeks of homework. Now, I'm not saying that's what should happen here.
Right.
But it wouldn't balance. It wouldn't hurt the kid too much. I'm telling you, maybe just a wake-up call for Prairie. That's all I'm suggesting.
Oh, man.
As long as we're all glowing in nostalgia, let's look back. On this day, September 11th, 1985, Pete Rose passed Ty Cobb's hit total to become the all-time hits leader in Major League Baseball. After the game, Rose thanked his teammates, his manager, his family for their support, and, of course, his bookie. I mean, he cashed in a massive marker by passing Cobb before September 15th. He took that bet before the season started.
I'm betting on it.
Well, word on the street anyway. Who would have ever imagined all these years later he'd still be on the outside looking in? I'll tell you who would have imagined it. Anyone who knew him personally. On this day in 1999, Brett Favre and Robert Brooks of the Green Bay Packers completed a 99-yard touchdown reception against the Chicago Bears. You can't have a pass play longer than 99 yards. 3rd and 10, Favre with a pump fake, and then he hits Brooks on the 30, who already had a 2-step lead on the cornerback. The team celebrated like they had just won the Super Bowl. They knew this is insane. Or, in Favre's case, he celebrated like he just ripped off welfare recipients for a few $1 million. It's happened 5 times since, and 3 of those against the Chicago Bears. If you have the ball on your own 1-yard line against Chicago, it's going to be okay. That's what we've learned. They're real good at giving up 99-yard touchdown passes.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder. on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, September the 11th. Paul McCartney and Wings, maybe. I'm amazed right there. Got a text from Mike in Prescott, Wisconsin, who wanted some Beatles. I gave you one Beatle, Mike. I hope that's enough. But, hey, no reason not to give a hail and hearty good morning to all of our friends in Prescott, Wisconsin. Hopefully that song worked for all of ye.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking of the Monkey Bar now in Prescott for a good time.
That's you know what? Wings Over America, it never sounds better than at the Monkey Bar. I'm sure of that.
Agreed.
By the way, fun fact about me and my drumming. The drummer on Wings Over America, Joe English, who was with Paul McCartney for a few years, as big a part of my drumming DNA as anybody. I always say, my favorite drummers are Ringo and Bonham, and I always forget Joe English. But every drum fill that was just played in that song, I have been ripping off and using for myself for years. I played air drums to Wings Over America so much that literally that guy is stamped in my DNA. I love his drumming. He quit Wings because he found the Lord and then started a Christian band, and of course he's never been heard of since.
Yeah.
Drumming for the Lord.
It's a choice, you know? I mean, there's choices and then there's choices. And then one last thought on my friend Joe English. Was in Nashville, Tennessee in the mid-'70s and saw an ad, drummer wanted for a band, and he walked into the room and it was Paul McCartney. He's like,
what are the odds?
Yeah. He's like, I think I'm in the wrong room. And he sat down and played, and McCartney hired him on the spot. Wow. True story. Here's another true story that's even cooler. In Fort Myers, Florida, an 84-year-old woman who, by the way, her name is Del Boppel.
Best name ever.
Del Boppel. There's nothing I could say after that isn't going to be awesome. If you have a grandma named Del Boppel, you bring your friends over to hang out with her. You know what I mean? Like, what? Oh yeah, Del Boppel, that's your grandma. She's the coolest old lady I've ever met. Yeah. Make no mistake, Del Boppel is a baller. She's 84 years old, and she was walking her little tiny dog near her Julia Mobile Home Park. Right near her home, her mobile home park. And as you do in Florida, when you walk a dog, sometimes you get a little too close to a little pond, and then things happen. Here's Del Boppel talking about the fact that, yes, she came across a gator.
It's a moment of survival. I can understand men and women in war now. I have never seen anything move that fast in all my life. I didn't have time to think. That alligator took off like 35 miles an hour, and I'm not joking.
She was not. Del Boppel's not joking around.
She looked down. She saw her little dog, Queen, right by the waterside, and then saw eyes in the water. She saw the alligator's eyes, and she said, I bent over. She picked up her dog and just threw it into the air. and at the same time, the gator lunged and got a hold of Del. It took a little chunk of her leg and bit her in the hand as well before it scurried away. It was a 7-foot gator, which is not the biggest gator ever, but about 6 feet longer than any gator I want to mess with. Mm-hmm. And by the way, she also said, I've been complaining about all the alligators to the people in my community, but nobody's ever returned a call. I bet they will now.
I don't believe that.
If that had been my grandmother, Gertrude Gorman, this is what she would have done. Removed her size 10.5-foot shoe and smacked that thing in the head, because that's what Gert always said to us. I'll take my shoe at you. And that was when playtime ended. No one ever got the shoe because nobody was ever dumb enough to cross that line.
Man, no kidding. You know what Del Boppel should do? I'd take this alligator and make a fine pair of shoes and then take the dog for a walk in her new alligator pumps.
Yeah, her handbag.
Del Boppel sounds like it sounds like a lot of things. It's a children's toy. It's a taco stand. There's so many things to be done with the name Del Boppel. She really should have franchised herself.
A 50s vocalist.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
One of the great doo-wop era singers of all time, Del Boppel. Del Boppel and the Flamin' Gators.
Man.
Absolutely fantastic.
How many fingers it got of Del? It's hard to say from her photo here, but it looks like at least a couple.
Ouch, man. But she did say she's feeling okay, because when she knows when she gets out of the hospital, she said this, I'm going to go back home to my dog, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. That by the way, that's a swipe at her grandkids. They don't call enough.
Yeah. You know it is. I mean, I'm looking at the stories this morning. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, for here. I can see in the last year and a half of small dogs being walked in Florida attacked by an alligator.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really just baiting alligators is what you're doing when you take a small dog for a walk in Florida.
It's almost like people are literally trying to do one of two things. Either like Del Boppel, I'm going to go viral for being a badass, or I just love to torture reptiles. It's one of the, I just love to tease them and get them excited. Yeah. And then, it can go awry, of course. If they get a hold of that dog, it's all over. But, I think there's a taunting thing here. There's a subconscious taunting happening with Floridians and their small animals. How about this? If you're going to take an animal for a walk in Florida, how about you put an alligator on a leash and walk it? That's probably the only way. That's probably the only way for sure you're going to get back home with the pet you left with.
Or start an alligator fight.
Or start an alligator fight. Or just go after the neighbor's poodle that just won't shut up, Take your pet alligator out, and what poodle? How about your kid standing out at the bus stop? Your little tyke out there, your kindergartner. Here's a dad. God. This year, wrestling an alligator before the kids went out to the bus stop.
I woke up this morning groggy. I'm ready to just take my kids to school. It's my daughter first day in middle school. So she runs back. Dad, there's an alligator in front door. I'm thinking she's joking. She's trying to skip school, not go to school. Walked in front like, yeah, there's a gator. Steve Irwin, crikey, there's a gator. That's what you do. You jump in his back. And they're like, okay, I'm doing it. I crossed that off my bucket list. I'm going to wrestle alligator today.
Yeah, he did, by the way, wrestle that alligator. And it wasn't a 7-footer. It looked like it might have been about a 3 or 4 footer, but
sure.
Dad did the dad thing.
When you live in Florida and your child screams, "Dad, there's an alligator on the front porch," they're not joking.
No.
I thought she was trying to get out of school. No, dude, she would have said any number of things. There's a man in a mask and a chainsaw. That would have been getting out of school. When you say there's an alligator, no, that's a gator, dude. That's exactly what's going to happen.
An alligator ate my homework.
We've all tried in our various ways. In Florida, you could get away with that in Florida. Make no mistake about it. Speaking of animals and how we should or shouldn't interact with them, remember, I know we do. This is a rhetorical question. Let's talk about Bob and Doug McKenzie from the Great White North on SCTV. Okay. The hosers and those characters that at first glance seem like way over the top parodies, and then you get to hang out with some Canadians and you realize, oh, no, there's people just like that all over Canada. Down south, we call them rednecks, and up north, we call them hosers. 2 men in northern Ontario driving on a road trip recently in a van. They came across a guy that was on the side of the road, and he looked like he'd been maybe hit by a car or was just just out of sorts. He wasn't clearly injured necessarily, but he was just sluggish, and he was just laying there, and they thought, we got to take care of this fella. So they picked him up and they put him in their van. Did I say fella? I'm sorry. It was a black bear. They put a black bear into their van and then just hit the road. And along the way, the bear was very sluggish. They did think maybe he'd been hit by a car. He was not a full-grown bear. He was a cub, but a big one. Still not an adult, but not a baby. They had him in their van for hours and fed the bear. Taco Bell. Apparently, black bears very happy with Taco Bell.
Who isn't happy with Taco Bell?
Right. Thank you.
I've gone on road trips and not gotten Taco Bell. Kind of jealous of this bear.
They did eventually find someone to come and retrieve a pet and wildlife rescue center. They got the bear from the van, and then of course there's a news story. And I love when the guy says on the news, like the person from the rescue center goes, "Hey, just common sense to start. They're wild animals, so leave them in the wild. And a bear, there's risk associated with housing a bear." That's a quote. There is risk associated with housing a bear.
There's risk associated with housing a Canadian, too.
No question about it. I'm always looking for a new band name, Housing the Bear. That might be a good punk band. That might be a good punk band name. Hey, it's a little after, what is it? Like, we're coming up on 7:15. We've been on the air for like an hour and 15 minutes. It might be perfectly a good opportunity for us to drop a deuce. You got to poo at work, people. I'm not making this up. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Wednesday morning. Hey, check this out. You can head to 92KQRS.com right now. Click on the contest page to enter for a chance to win tickets to the Field of Bands Arch Allies Tribute Show. Saturday, September 21st at the Washington County Fairgrounds, all from the Yellow Ribbon Alliance Lower St. Croix Valley. In Queensland, Australia, the health department has gone viral. They put up a post just simply letting people know not only is it okay, but it's encouraged for you to poop at work more often.
In the bathroom.
Yes, definitely involve the indoor plumbing with this decision. They say a lot of people avoid it, but they really shouldn't. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing quite sincerely more natural than poop. You just got to let it loop. You got to let it. You got to let it low. You got to let it go. You don't be afraid to drop the deuce at your workplace. But this is apparently something that clearly many of us are still struggling with. Zepp, you already made the point. By God, you look forward to getting to work for that very reason.
Yeah, I mentioned I have a messy diet. That's I don't like to clean my own toilet. We have people that come here and clean toilets. I want to give them something to do. I want to make their job worthwhile.
I'm sure they're grateful for that.
I'll dash out the door as quickly as possible. I drink my coffee on the way to work, so yeah, I'm ready to rumble when I show up to 2000 Southeast Elm Street. I'm ready to go.
Oh, sure. I mean, when I came up here the first time to Minneapolis to check out the building, and I met Zepp in person, it was like, hey, good to see you, man. We talked a few times, and, you took me right to the bathroom. I thought that was a weird first part of the tour. But looking back now, it all makes perfect sense.
We have the poop bathroom here at the Q because up in the front, we have a bathroom right by, it's like the front door when you walk in through the lobby, and you can really stink it up there. I get it. But then way in the back of the building back there that no one usually goes to, that's the poop bathroom. You can go in there and just let all hell break loose if you'd like.
There's the REM song "Everybody Poops." Isn't that what wasn't that like soft blues number they had? The little traditional.
Everybody poops sometimes. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yeah. Everybody poops. Back to Queensland, Australia. On their post, they did say, they have some suggestions and they use the tune "Poo Paranoia." Here's one they say: try visualizing someone famous on the toilet, like Taylor Swift.
What? I mean, that's
visualize someone famous on the toilet. Yeah, no, if I'm going to do that, I mean, oddly enough, I picture all three of the Stooges on the toilet. That's where I go. Right? I'm like, there's three toilets. They're all taken, and it's sure enough, it's Mo, Larry, and Curly right in there. I'm like, guys, come on, I got to go.
Walking each other with a wrench on the head.
That's exactly right.
Everyone takes a crap.
You guys can do that anywhere. What I'm here to do, I need that toilet. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Number 2, they suggested bring a small fragranced spray in the toilet with you.
Oh, poop-pourri. Have you had the poop-pourri yet?
I remember that hit the scene in a big way a while back.
I've been introduced to this. Yeah, someone that apparently, again, back to my diet, but they gave me some poop-pourri. If you're going to stay with me, you have to have the poop-pourri, and you spray it on the water, so it creates a film over the water, like when we were dyeing our Easter eggs. It creates that film over the water, so when the turd hits the water, it's enveloped into this poop-pourri, and then it is rather quite pleasant.
There you have it.
I wish I had more.
Man.
Lots of women's bathrooms just have a community one, like sitting in there for when you get done and it kind of stinks.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen that.
Being poop-pourri or just good old aerosol?
I mean, I never use it, so I guess I don't know exactly what it is.
Oh, my poop doesn't stink right, or whatever, breezy poo. We know about you.
I had it all backwards. The first time I got poo-pourri, I thought I was supposed to ingest it myself before, and that's a quick trip to the hospital. Let me tell you.
I used it after I smoked some pot. It just did not work out. The two don't yet. You got the real. I dated someone for a while, and I guess we kind of broke up. I think we would have anyway. We just weren't connecting. But she had to go at home. What's it called? What's the German word for the home pooper?
Oh, that's right. Hang on one second.
Something Scheisser.
It's the Heimscheisser. Heimscheisser. Home shitter. Heimscheisser.
She had to go, not specifically at home, but if we were at a hotel on vacation and that's where this happened, she had to then go. That was her home base. So if you're out, just frolicking around for the day, we'd have to go all the way back to the hotel, up to the room, not even in the lobby, but up to the room to have ourselves a poop. And it was just driving me crazy.
It's tough. You've got to, and I think that's something that we got to think about. Early to those of you out there who don't already have kids, when you have them, break through these barriers early. Everyone's life is going to be better if you don't raise kids who think they need to go home to poo. Trust me when I say that. The last thing on their list of suggestions: breathe deeply or do a short meditation exercise.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
No grunting, no bearing down.
I guess not. It is better. I've noticed this, and this is all going to lead to a confession I have to make. When I'm in a bathroom for the first time and I look to the toilet paper, when I see that it's an under, it's applied, so it's wrapped under. You got the under or the over. Mm-hmm. I'm always like, now who would do this? Who would do this under? But here's the thing: I grew up in an under household.
Oh.
I grew up, the Gormans of the 70s and 80s, by God, we were an under toilet paper household. And when I would go to friends' houses that were over, I thought that was so weird. And then one day, it's like a switch went off, and I went, oh, that's the superior method. The over is the way to go. And I made damn sure my kids knew that early on. When you replace the toilet paper, we come over the top right here. It's a big deal. And I think I still carry around a little bit of shame from the fact that I grew up in an under household.
That's sad.
As you should have. I don't remember growing up if it was a thing or not, but I do remember getting older and having roommates, and it came up, and I thought, what's wrong with you idiots? Over, under, who gives a? And then that's when I noticed that
it's a thing.
Under is not the way to go. It's got to be over.
No, when people, I'll say something and I give a little too, someone can glean more insight into my psyche than I intended. They'll go, recovering Catholic, huh? And I'm like, no, I'm a recovering under. It's a different, it's very similar. A lot of the same sort of things. There are a lot of parallels, but no, I'm very much a recovering under kid right here.
I like it. Do you ever go to someone's house and it's under, and while you're using the bathroom, and you switch it to over, and then you go about having a good time, but the next time you see them, it's just a little awkward, and you're thinking to yourself, do they know that I switched?
Do they know?
Yeah. Did they go in there and go, hey, why is this over? Zap.
George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, they asked a very important question. Are you a folder or a wrapper? Like, do you fold your paper or do you just bunch it all up in a ball when you use it? These are the kind of things that are important to know.
Yeah, a bunch. I mean, I don't have time to be. I don't fold my clothes, for crying out loud. I'm not going to fold my TP. Just bunch it up into a big wad.
I'm a big clothes folder. I'm happy to be doing laundry and folding clothes. I have I guess it's part of my recovering OCD. I also love to cut grass in straight lines. Like when I'm doing things like that, I like things to be really neat and in place. And folding clothes gives me that feeling of, like, if I have a nice hamper of freshly folded clothes, I don't then want to put them away. I just want to keep them in the hamper. It's like I've just won at Tetris or something. I've got all that in there. It's like, oh, isn't that nice? Just makes me feel good. And then I think about the fact that I clearly have issues.
Yeah, we're approaching mental illness here, Steve.
Approaching. I think we're already deep. We're knee deep in the water, my friend.
Right. That's right.
But as far as the debate over and under goes, there's also, it's debate season. But the non-political debates are the ones we all can truly feel a little better about having, because they speak a lot more to who we really are. I think. I have a thought here, and we've talked a lot about animals on the show today. How about this? Here's a debate topic. I saw someone posted this, and I thought, okay, this is a perfect debate that is neither left nor right. It's just people. Pet ownership should be heavily regulated. You should have to have a license to own a dog, just like driving. Dogs should be banned from all public playing fields. Cats should also be only indoors. Cats should only be allowed indoors. They decimate urban bird life.
No, they don't. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I'm just going to start, I guess, with the licensing of a dog owner. Yeah, I'd like to see licensing for a lot of things. I'm approaching that age where, I think you ought to have a license to have a kid. You ought to have a license to drive a car, for example. No, I'm just kidding about that. But, I mean, a license to own a dog, I'd like to see it. More responsible dog owners. There's a lot of crap sitting out there. West River Parkway, you ever bike that thing or hike or walk it or anything like that? There's dog crap everywhere. People are just letting their dogs crap and not pick it up.
That drives me nuts. I'm a responsible dog owner. I always leave. If I leave the house with one bag, and Chauncey Gorman, God love him, sometimes wants to throw the curve in the work. He'll do the immediate, we walk out, boom, there you go, Dad. And then 20 minutes later, he's like, before we go back in, boom, number 2. I will go back home, get a bag, and go back to the scene of the crime to scoop it later because I just hate the idea that somebody would look at me and go, that's that guy who left his dog crap on the sidewalk. I can't stand it because when I come across it, I want to smack somebody.
Yeah,
I feel like that should automatically earn you a dog license.
Yeah,
that's solid. Yeah.
Now, the only thing that bothers me about, are they going to charge us for the dog license? See, then that's where I start to bristle a little bit. Like, I don't want to be, of course, I'm not going to own a dog either or a pet. I don't even have a plant. I don't like any competition in where I'm living. I just want me to be the only living organism in there. That and the parasites and the bugs and everything.
The oxygen and the water in this house is for me.
Yeah.
Not that cactus and not that cat. By God, It is not for that cat. No. Text on the 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. A text came in. TP goes under if you have cats. That's very true.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, easier to roll.
Yeah.
There again. That's another good reason not to own a cat. It's so many.
Also on the talk and text line about pooping at work, no shortage of support there. One simply says, I love pooping at work. I get paid to poop. And then another one, let's see. Oh, wait, where did it go? He says, my favorite rhyme. The boss makes $1, I make a dime, and that's why I poop on company time.
I love
Very
it.
popular.
Matt, get off on yourself, Matt. I like that. That's a good one. There was Tony, was there something about a dog and a duck or something? What was that? There was
walk into a bar.
There was another. I believe there was another non-political animal debate topic, but I maybe I'm making that up.
No, this is thought provoking, and I want you to give this the serious thought that I know you're capable of. So the question is: Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 10 duck-sized horses?
Oh,
that.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Okay.
It's a realistic question.
What's the answer? What's the answers up?
The duck. I eat duck. Can you imagine a whole horse-sized duck? That's duck for years, man.
But it's a fight, it's a fight. And Tony didn't specify if you have any weapons on hand. So a duck,
no weapons. Yeah.
A duck the size
I got two
of a horse
right here. My left fist and my right fist. Come on, duck. Let's go.
Man, I like that.
Probably kick my ass, wouldn't it? I mean, a regular-sized duck hand-to-hand might not work out for me.
Cute, though. I'd feel weird about punching a duck in the face.
What about a horse the size of? What about a horse the size of a duck?
10 of them, I believe, was the answer. I think that'd be kind of cute, like little miniature horses running around, and but you could just kind of kick them, just get them out of the way there,
like little schnauzers. Just give them the foot wedge.
Man, I'm surprised someone hasn't come up with well, they do have miniature horses. What are they called?
Shetlands.
Yeah, the Shetland ponies.
But they have miniature horses, which are different than Shetland ponies. Shetland ponies are glorified donkeys. Hate them. Grew up. We had.
Oh, really?
I spent a summer just breaking Shetland ponies. Our neighbor brought a semi-load of Shetland ponies out and then paid my brother and I to break these Shetland ponies. They're horrible beasts. But the miniature horses actually look like a little horse. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like a little horse. Yeah, right. People are really into those.
What did you say? Glorified Donkeys, also a good band name. You said, so Shetland ponies, I had a neighbor for years, well, not like right on the street, I mean across, about a half a mile away, but on the way to school, we would go past this house with a big fenced-in yard, and they had a Shetland pony, like it was a dog in the front yard. And I never got near the thing. It kind of gave me the creeps. It looked good from far away, but I think something told me. I think somewhere in my animal vibing, my empathy for the universe of animals, something told me that's just a glorified donkey. Steer clear. I just never
have good instincts.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get near it. And everyone else like, that thing is so cute. It runs around. And I'm like, I don't know about that thing. So I'm glad you've confirmed that I was probably smart to stay away from it.
Here to help.
How do you break a Shetland pony? Never thought I'd ask that question.
Just like you break a horse, and it's not the old fun cowboy way where you just jump on and let it buck away. You've got to walk them around the corral, get them used to their harness, and then you get a saddle on them, and you walk them around for hours and hours with a saddle, and then finally you get on and jump on, and they kick and sputter around a little bit, and it's time consuming, and they bite, and they're stubborn, like donkeys. Not like a horse, not like a doggone American quarter horse, man. They know what's going on.
I'm very happy to know about that. Hey, Extreme and Living Color are playing the Mystic Showroom September 22nd. That's 11 days from right now. And if that's interesting to you, you want to hang with us. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's Classic Rock 92 KQRS.
On September the 22nd at the Mystic Showroom, Extreme and Living Color will be performing. Two bands with great lead guitarists. If you like the guitar, Extreme and Living Color are going to be rocking it for you. And we want to give away tickets right now. 2 callers are needed. Callers 9 and 2, in fact, on the KQ Talk and Text line 651-989-ROCK. We'll take callers 9 and 2. We'll lock you in. You'll play a game. The winner will get tickets to see Extreme and Living Color. This is a perfect time to remind you, if you're not on the horn right now trying to get in touch with us, KQ Up North with Hoffman Weber Construction, October 3rd through the 6th at Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. Join us for a broadcast of the KQ Morning Show, a karaoke party, a dinner cruise, live music, and more. Sack races with Brian Zepp. Book your stay right now at 92KQRS.com, sponsored by Hoffman Weber Construction and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, we're not talking about the burlap sacks either. We're just talking about, never mind. I want to go there. I was thinking of a pub crawl. We got into Brainerd last year for a good old-fashioned pub crawl. We squeezed that in there at the Blue Oyster and all that good stuff for a good time as well. But, yeah, because we don't get up north enough. The summer zoomed by. I think I went up north one time. I'm going to go up north every other weekend. And so I'm stoked to get back up there one last time here in October.
Going to be very, very, very nice. I'm looking very much forward to that. That was my first time in Brainerd for me and Rosemary, and gosh, good people, good beer, good burgers, the whole thing was really, really, really something. So. With that in mind, get to, as I said, 92KQRS.com and book your tickets. We want to see you up there. Are we ready to rock a game or what?
I don't think that we're ready quite yet. 651-989-ROCK if you want to get in on the action.
Well, then how about this? How about we just take a moment and say, what's up, Coon Rapids?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Coon Rapids, Minnesota.
Home of the old Coon Creek. Coon Creek, you know how it got its name? I don't know. Coon Creek, they built the dam there, and I don't know, like 19-aught something or whatever. But back in the 19th century, because they had the rapids there on Coon Creek, the Coon Rapids, and raccoons are not, they don't hibernate, they're up all year long. They would gather there for the fresh water, and that's where they'd blast them, or trap them or whatever. So yeah, Coon Rapids.
Fair enough. All good information. All like I say, if you're not living, you're not, if you're not learning, you're not living. And right now I feel very much alive. Thank you, Brian.
I Googled it. Everybody keeps bringing up Coon Rapids, and one time people are like, oh, no, it's not its name. So I just Googled it.
By the way, when like most adults, when I'm either praising or criticizing Zepp, I go to Brian.
Oh, yeah, I know. You do that. I know.
What are you thinking, Brian?
I sit up straight.
It's just, I can't help myself. It's just you're so not a Brian. You're just a Zepp. You've been, from the first time we met, I was like, that guy's the most Zepp. That's just all there is, Zepp. And then I hear myself say Brian, and I crack myself up. I hope it's okay with you.
Okay with me.
All right,
it's better than when mom calls me Brian, but when she threw in the middle name, then like all of us, that's when you're in trouble. So I don't get that vibe from you. We're all good.
My mom, because there was 8 of us, she would consistently call out the wrong name in anger. And then she would have to go down the list chronologically to get to your name. I'm not making this up. If I were in trouble, she'd go, Jimmy, David, Doug, Steven. It would just write down a list. And if she started at Bob, it was the whole Bob's, Tom, Jim. She did that for years. It was great. It was great every time. I loved it.
God bless her.
Tony, we good? What's happening here?
Yeah, we got a couple contestants ready to play.
Well, then really all that's left is for me to ask you, what the hell are we doing? What's this game?
Well, last night's debate is in the books, and now it's our turn. And we're going to try something different here. See if it. We're going to throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. Let's play this. Yep, that's it. The great debate at 8. What's more competitive and intellectually stimulating than a meeting of the minds? A battle of wit and rhetoric. Yes, sir. It's a chance for our listeners to go head-to-head on important topics. We're going to give our contestants an issue, then they'll choose what side they're going to argue. Then we'll vote on who made the persuasive case.
Oh.
It's the great debate at 8.
Yep. Don't forget to lie and be mean.
Mm-hmm. It's the great debate at 8. Sorry, I don't know why I felt I had to go Scottish there.
No,
I'm excited. Good. I'm excited about this. So, all right, let's get it started. Who we got?
This is going to be non-political, of course. First up is Aaron from Burnsville.
Aaron, good morning.
Tony, who did you have up second? I think we might...
Who's on first?
Okay, next is Ray from Coon Rapids.
Ray, good morning.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you, sir. Who's your favorite band ever? One band.
Def Leppard.
Attaboy. Favorite team, any sport?
Vikings.
Little bit more excitement for the lads from Sheffield. All right, Ray, it's time for the great debate. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Ryder, is this how we're going to set it up? We'll give them their subject to debate, and the other one is listening?
Sure, give me 1 second here. I got Jesse from Coon Rapids.
Oh, cool.
Hey!
Oh, Coon Rapids versus Coon Rapids.
I like that. Jesse, good morning.
It's a civil war.
Good morning.
Jesse, give me your favorite band.
Rival Sons.
Wow,
Very
Rival Sons.
Nice.
Right on.
Very
Favorite
cool.
team, any sport?
Let's go with the Twins.
All right, we'll do it. Rival Sons and the Twins. We like it. Okay, I'm assuming you know what's happening here. We're playing the great debate game. Tony, I leave it to your esteemed hands, sir. Take us away.
Okay, we're going to have our first contestant with the given subject, and they'll have about 30 seconds to make their argument, and then we'll turn and give it to the other Coon Rapids representative.
Beautiful.
And then we vote.
Love it.
Okay.
Okie doke.
All right.
All
So
right.
first up, this is a very difficult thing to ponder, but I have faith in both of you. Is a hot dog considered a sandwich? Now, our first contestant gets to pick which side they want to take, pro or con.
That's you, Ray.
Whoa.
What?
I think he
Pro.
said pro. So Ray's going
All right.
pro. Hot
All
dog
right.
is a sandwich. Ray, 30 seconds. Make your argument.
Like it. Let's go,
to it,
Ray. Kick it.
Hot dog is a sandwich because you can get it anywhere. You can have a sandwich at the fair. You can have a sandwich at home. You can have a sandwich at a restaurant. Almost every single restaurant in the USA and intercontinental and the rest of the world will sell you a hot dog as a sandwich, and you can put anything on there you want. You don't even need Canadian bacon, pineapple pizza. You can just put some pineapple in it. A hot dog.
And that's 30.
Hey, Ray,
You can
my
have a hot dog
man.
without a bun. You can have a
That's
full
30,
hot
Ray.
dog.
You're good, Ray. Whoa.
I'm assuming he's still drunk from last
Ray's
night.
out of control. He's drunk with power.
Wow. Ray, is that West Texas, I hear, your accent?
I was going for Scottish, but I'll take West Texas.
That was solid,
Western
man.
Scotland.
Yeah, not bad.
That's strong, man. He's getting it. You can get it anywhere. I like the first opening statement. Boom, you can get it anywhere. So a hot dog is clearly a sandwich in Ray's world. So very well done, sir. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, it's time for Jesse to take the other side of this argument.
That is correct.
Jesse, are you still with us?
I sure am.
Are you ready to rock?
I suppose.
All right, let's do it. Hit it, Jesse.
Well, a hot dog is not a sandwich because you can, cook it over the fire. You can put it on a stick. It's not the bun that the hot dog goes into is just, one piece of bread versus two, where a sandwich has two.
Oh, yeah.
I'm running out of things to say.
Favorite laugh of the day?
Seconds.
Yeah.
My cackle, got it.
I love it.
All right.
That was great.
I love it.
It was
Charming
as
laugh.
if I was picturing you at the dais on the debate stage, and a little child walked up and tickled your foot right in the middle of it. That was great.
It can happen.
That was amazing. Jesse, I got to say, I like the whole, I've never heard the angle of the bun's one piece of bread, not two. Very well played. Yeah,
Well,
all right.
Now we have 2 rounds for both our contestants.
Great. All right. We've got those filed away. What is, well, then let's get to round 2. What's debate topic 2?
All right. Next up is, if you had the ability to time travel, would you travel to the past or to the future?
Ooh, Ray, what do you think?
To keep it fair, Jesse gets to pick first.
That's right.
Right on.
Which side do you want, Jesse? Future or past?
Oh, man, I don't know. That's a tough one.
You're picking one side and debating it. So which way do you want to go?
I guess let's go with the past.
All right. Okay. You got about 5 seconds to get your thoughts in order, Jesse. Are you ready?
Yep.
Tony?
All right, go, Jess.
All right, well, I'd like to travel to the past because I'm a huge music fanatic, and all these great music artists that have unfortunately left this earth, I would have the opportunity to go see, these awesome concerts. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Freddie Mercury would be some of my favorites to go see. You travel to the future, they're no longer, so I would love to see them in the past.
All right. Strong.
Well done, Jess.
Jesse took 1 point and rammed it home with great effectiveness. Very well done.
Thank you.
It's hard. No, it's very hard to argue going back and getting a chance to see all of those great artists. I think that's pretty strong. Okay, Ray, you, sir, are you're going to have to debate that it would be better to travel into the future. Are you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Tony?
All right, Ray, good luck to you. Go to it.
I would love to travel to the future because, have you ever seen Back to the Future? You go back to the future, you got what? You got 3D holograms, all those great personalities that you're talking about from the past. They're all going to be sitting there on a TV when you order a Coke in a wannabe 50s diner. Best thing about the future is that it makes the past even better with more technology, with more.
All right, Ray.
Nice
That's
job,
it.
Ray.
The time is the bell is rung, Ray. Very well done. Man, I got to say, first time playing this game, this is not an easy one. Ray and Jesse, first things first, great job, both of you. Well done. The Battle of Coon Rapids. I love it, man. Go figure. The tough part now, you guys got to sit tight. We have to put the 4. Let's call ourselves the 4. It sounds like one of those Netflix shows. The 4. The Star Council 4 have to vote and see who the winner is today. I'm going to ask Tony Lee, Quizmaster General, to go first.
I have to say I was moved by the unique, original, and twisted logic of Ray. Found it very original.
Those are compliments, Ray.
Yes.
All right, there's 1 for Ray. Ryder, what do you think?
Oh, I got to go with Jesse. I think the argument of a hot dog is not a sandwich because you can put it on a stick. That was real solid.
Wow, pretty strong right there. All right, Zepp, what do you got?
Well, this isn't sales pitch, right? Where they're selling us on something. This is a debate, which means that which it's not about Jesse, it's not about Ray. It's where do I fall on the issues? A hot dog isn't a frickin' sandwich because a sandwich is a sandwich and a hot dog is a frickin' hot dog. End of story. And as far as the future is uncertain, I don't want to jump into an abyss, a war, an Armageddon, maybe a zombie apocalypse could be fun. So, yeah, I think I'd like to check out the past. I'm going to have to go with Jesse on this one, just on the topics alone.
Sure. No, that makes perfect sense. This is tough for me. I could go either way. I mean, my one thought about going into the future, if you had said, I'm going to get lottery ticket winners, I would have had to go with you on that one. But the not that it wasn't a solid effort on your part, but similarly to what Ryder and Zepp said, the hot dog thing swung me. I got to go with Jesse on this by a hair. And so that means Jesse with a 3-1 victory is going to pick up those tickets. Ray, wonderful effort. You definitely won the Scottish accent part. You buried that one. There was not even a close second.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Tickets.
Yeah, Ray was only, about 10 seconds into his, and I thought, is he actually Scottish or Irish? I thought he had me there. I liked it a lot.
It was very well delivered. Jesse, congratulations. You got tickets September 22nd, Mystic Showroom, Extreme and Living Color. Awesome work for both you guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got it. Well done, Tony Lee. I like that new game.
Very impressive.
Yeah, man. That's very strong living right there.
Some good candidates.
If Jesse comes down to the show and decides to stay overnight out there by the Mystic Showroom, gets a hotel room for the night, she, like a lot of people, might have an unusual room service request, but I doubt she'll come up with any of the insanity that we've got in front of us here. Room service, that's coming up. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. We've all been cleansed. Thank you, Led Zeppelin. Oh, that song's still, I feel like we just all climbed Mount Everest together or something. You know what I mean? You get through the whole 8 minutes of that bad boy, and the rest of the day is just a downhill run. Good morning. It's Wednesday. And we're rolling along on the KQ Morning Show. And I said before the break, room service requests. We've all stayed in hotels. I know I've stayed in probably more than the average bear, just being on tour for years. I lived in and out of hotels, and I don't know that I ever made a single bizarre room service request. I mean, I'm thinking about it. Like, if they have like you got chicken noodle soup, I'll take it. You got a Caesar salad, I'll take it. Whatever's on the menu. But I did work with some people who tended to like to go off the menu in a lot of ways, off the grid in general. But I'm looking at a list of unusual room service requests. This one's pretty good. The Hotels.com released a list from hotels all around the country of requests they received just over the last year. An Evian water-filled bathtub.
What?
Reasoning? The person said, here's the quote, they need their child to bathe in the purest water.
Oh, my God, I hate your baby.
I'm rich. You're not.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Your child is going to struggle so ineffectively.
What if the child is the one who requested it?
Well, you know what? Then that
drop him off the balcony.
That kid's going to be president one day, as long as they don't drop him off the balcony.
Right.
I can tell you, man. That is pretty special right there. When the tap water isn't enough, you need Evian. If I worked at that hotel, there'd be some $97 bottles of Evian heading up to that room stat.
Yeah, right?
The markup would be extraordinary. Now, Bobby Keys, the legendary saxophonist with the Rolling Stones, very famously took a bathtub with a female friend in Champagne. He got a tour bonus and spent the entire thing on Dom Perignon. And they said, "How much do you want?" And he said, "Enough to fill the bathtub."
Yeah, nice. That's rock and roll right there. That I can get behind. That I dig.
That I think the nation agrees. Yes, that makes sense. Evian for your child? No, sorry, you lose the game. Good night.
I mean, can you get that at the Motel 8? Is it 6? Super 8? I don't even know.
Think so. You can.
Motel 6, Super 8.
But it involves a trip to the store. It's not on hand. Trust me. This is a good one. Burnt toast. I have had to. There are parts of the world, like say, oh gosh, I don't know, England, where their breakfast, man, the toast is never toasted enough and the eggs are never egged enough. They don't. You get a scrambled egg, you like it. There's way too much liquid in the scrambled egg at your average English hotel breakfast. And this is in a flea-ridden dump, and this is at a nice 4-star hotel. Everything in between. The way they do the eggs, and I have sat there and been like you go down, they have the lobby breakfast, and it's always, the same thing like at a Holiday Inn here. They got the buffet in the lobby, and you go down there, and it's like you look at those eggs, and I'm generally not a picky eater, but it's like, man, I need just a little bit of my scrambled egg to actually have there's a solid in there somewhere. It just looks like yellow soup. With an occasional little chunk of egg in there.
I agree. Not a big fan of breakfast in England. And I like my eggs over easy. So the yolk can be dippy, but let's not have the white part, whatever that's called. I don't want that to be dippy. And you know what else I don't want? I don't want freaking baked beans all over my breakfast plate. Please, what is it with their baked beans in the morning over there?
Well, it's a different. It's not the same recipe as our baked beans. They're Heinz beans over there. I dig it, man. I dig the beans on eggs, but in fact, and I this is the thing though. I did enjoy that the first 2 times I had it, and then I was at a farmer's market back in the States that had a bunch of exotic foods, and they had those English Heinz baked beans for breakfast, and I was like, oh my God, I love these. I took them home, made them myself with the eggs, and I thought, this is disgusting. What the hell's wrong with me? If somebody in an outrageously thick English accent of no discernible origin is serving me these, I'm all for it. Me, in my boxer shorts, heating it up in the saucepan, what the hell's wrong with me?
I get it. It's different. I don't know why, but it is.
I like this. 4 pounds of bananas. 4 pounds. Not 4 bananas, 4 pounds of bananas. How the hell do you know how much is how many bananas is in 4 pounds?
I don't know. That'll keep you regular. Why? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what a bunch of bananas weighs.
Well, hang on. Hold that to the side, the banana story, because there's a couple other things I want to share. But then I have more banana talk. Strangest things last year, Hotels.com, a list of things that were left behind in hotel rooms. A Rolex watch.
Oh.
A Birkin bag.
Yeah.
A watch worth $6 million. Okay,
what
that's not at the Motel 8. That's not at the Holiday Inn Express. That's probably at a hotel we don't even know what the name of the hotel
Four
brand
Seasons.
is.
I have so much money.
I think that's the 7 Seasons when you have a $6 million watch.
And you took it off. I mean, I was even watching a $6 million watch. Pardon the pun there. It never leave my wrist. But yeah, that's how the other half lives, I guess. That I'll just grab another one on the way to the castle.
That's one half. The other half that you're referencing, regularly, it appears hotel maids come across dentures.
Uh-oh.
No.
Dentures.
Well, yeah.
How do you get past the checkout process without realizing you don't have teeth in your mouth?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. You think that would be obvious? Are you traveling alone? Did someone say, "Hey, put your choppers back in"? I don't know.
Maybe that's weird. Pair.
The spare pair of choppers.
Yeah. 2 full leg casts.
Done with them.
I mean, I had a cast on my right forearm. I broke my wrist, and I removed it a few days before it was technically supposed to be removed. I just had enough. Well, I spent the summer of 1986 with both arms in casts. I got the left one out, and then a week later, after my left arm was free, I just was sick of the one on my right arm, and I cut it off myself. I just took the chance. And it was only a few days early, and it was all fine. But a full leg cast. Someone decided, I don't need these. I'm done. I'm going to cut them off, and I'm going to leave them behind. Let me tell you, it took a long time to get a forearm cast off. A leg cast, you got to have a sharp implement, and you're going to be at it for hours.
We'll do it at the hotel. Don't want to make a mess at the house.
Yeah, that is just that's a brutal one to me. Oh, so I did say I wanted to set aside bananas for a quick moment. There is a guy in Brooklyn, New York, posted a video on TikTok, and it's a real video. We have all experienced, not personally, Zepp and Tony and myself, we've all experienced our beloveds going through pregnancies, and the idea of mommy brain, or before that, pregnancy brain. I'm not saying this. I mean, my wife would fully agree. It's a very real thing. There are some moments in both of my wife's pregnancies where she just all the blood was doing what it should do, not working for her the frontal cortex or whatever, like the decision making, the logic, the reasoning. Screw that. We're building a baby here. That's what all the energy in the body is going to. So on the all-time list of great pregnancy brain moments, this dude, because it is 2024, made a video where he showed something his wife. She made an order online, and this is in a very small apartment in Brooklyn, and here he explains what was delivered to that apartment.
So here I am, minding my own business on this innocent Sunday, and the groceries arrive for just me and my wife, and I find bunches of bananas. My pregnant wife managed to order 99 bunches of bananas. I think we have over 1,200 bananas in this apartment right now. For those of you interested, we'll be selling bananas right from our door here in Brooklyn. Give us a call.
Yeah, wow, 1,200 bananas. I mean, buy a monkey, I guess.
You get cravings.
In the video, it's funny because he's in this, it's a tiny little apartment. People live in very small spaces in the city, and the floor is just bag after bag after bag of bananas. And I like that he goes, we have 99 bunches. I think it's over 1,200 bananas, the way he's explaining that.
I mean, there's such a short shelf life, Those things are going to get ripe. You're going to just have to start. You're going to be the guy bringing everyone bananas. You're right. You bring them to work. You see people pass strangers on the street, have a banana. Have a banana.
I think I mentioned this last year. Maybe I forgot to on the show. But this reminds me, the weirdest thing has happened to me since I got to Minneapolis. Okay, so last year about this time, I am downtown. I'm at the local watching an Arsenal soccer match. That's my team from England, and the local is where all the Arsenal fans go to watch the games. And I'm there with Derek from 93, and we're watching the game, and we're having a good time. And as the game is coming to an end, Rosemary sends me a text, and she says, hey, don't forget we need cat litter. And by the way, for a week I kept forgetting. So it was a necessity. We needed cat litter. And I said, got it. I'll pick it up on the way home. I walked out of that pub right there on Nicollet, and across the street from me, on the street corner, is a guy and a girl, and they're both like professionals in their clothing, and they have a grocery cart, and it's full of cat litter.
Huh?
Oh, how weird.
And I look, and as I start to cross towards them, the guy looks at me and literally goes, hey, man, you need any cat litter by chance?
Seriously.
I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. And Rosemary reminded me of this the other day. I was like, oh, yeah, my God, what was that? And I looked at him and I go, did my wife just text you? And he goes, what? And I said, what are you doing? And they were part of something. They said they worked at Target. And they were doing something about, I don't even know, because the words, I was just in such shock. But he said, so we've got all this extra cat litter. We're walking over here. But hey, man, if you want some, feel free to take it. And they have these giant bins of exactly what I was about to look for. I was going to have to go to a store. And I go, you're offering me free cat litter? He goes, yeah, take as much as you can carry.
Oh, my God. That's how you know you live in the Matrix. That's the synchronicity is too profound.
And I now I realize, oh my God, that's Google. They listen to my phone. I thought, I like, oh, you got Google's it's a couple. It's a nicely dressed business couple. That's who Google is. And I literally took two of those things, one in each hand, like 30 pounds each of cat litter. I walked to the car and I was like, what the hell just happened? And then they just carried on down the sidewalk with a grocery cart of cat litter, asking people if they needed some.
It was Dave and Debbie Googleson.
Right? Yeah, exactly. The mission ahead is clear next time you're at the local. Rosemary needs to call you and remind you to pick up beer. on your way home, or ham.
Yeah, right.
You know, how about some frozen pizzas? You know,
no kidding. Something I can get something for me, as opposed to just
so weird.
The great thing about cat litter is that it exists, and the bad thing about cat litter is that we then allow cats to live in our homes because of it.
I know these
things
buggers.
happen.
I know. I've cohabitated with them before. You know,
cats are like babies. I love mine.
Yeah.
Yours?
Right, exactly.
Yours? Not interested. Sorry. That's just how that rolls.
I will say the one thing I dig about a cat is they like to be left alone, like me. I think I could live maybe if I had to have one thing. A dog, they're just too high maintenance. They're like girlfriends. I like cats. You know, but we might not see each other for days.
Dude, you would love Milo Gorman. Everybody that house sits, and by house sits, I mean comes over to feed the cat and scoop the litter if we're out of town. Nobody that's ever done that has ever seen him. literally,
it's my kind of cat.
They send proof of life photos. They're like, look, he did eat the food. He did. I am scooping the litter. I have no idea if there's actually a cat here or not. That dude, he is your kind of cat, Zep.
All right, Milo's my cat.
All right, you can find Steve Gorman and the KQ Morning Show podcast anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want. The podcast sponsored by our good friends at Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies, who, as we speak, are getting ready to serve a whole bunch of amazing food today. I love me some Devani's. It's time for the top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Wednesday morning. As it is 9 o'clock, it's time for your top 5 at 9. 5 things we think are important to know. Number 5, the teens, the kids, Gen Z. The hell's wrong with them? They're not smoking nearly as much weed as we used to back in the day. Not only do they not smoke as much weed, they don't drink as much. They're not vaping like they did back in 2020. I guess the kids are all right. And Brian Zepp might want to argue this. Maybe the kids. Well, what did you say earlier, Zepp? Maybe the kids are just completely full of it.
I'm just saying, just like we did when we were growing up, selling mom and dad a bunch of baloney. I'm just saying they're lying to get away with it. I just seriously doubt that teens aren't the same as teens have always been, and that is just trying to get away with whatever they can get away with. I'm not buying it.
That's a pretty good point right there. Ryder, are you buying this study, or do you think the kids are just lying to everyone who asks them what they're doing?
I'm just so nervous that they're all everybody I know who didn't smoke weed and drink in high school kind of went off the deep end as soon as they got to college. So I'm just worried there's going to be an avalanche coming as soon as they graduate.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that the truth? The late bloom is not pretty for long, let me tell you.
Ferocious, yeah.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought about that. Of course, yeah, there is that whole, I never really drank until I was about 23. And when you hear those words come out of someone's mouth, run like your shoes are on fire. Because if they're not yet, they will be soon. Top 5 at 9, number 4. Speaking of which, thank God for the oldsters out there like Sally Duvall, a woman who's running for Congress in Texas, and she's got a big beef with a lot of the confusing laws down there as it applies to cannabis. Listen to a little bit of this ad from Sally Duvall.
My name is Sally Duvall, and I'm running for the Texas House of Representatives. They arrest people every day for marijuana possession, but they don't have the funding to test if it's illegal marijuana or a federally legal hemp product. Our laws are my common sense policy. I'm Sally Duvall, and I believe it's high time for change in Texas.
It's high time, and by the way, that sound you hear towards the end of that spot very much is Sally Duvall ripping on a bong.
Yeah, that wasn't her first hit off of a bong either. That was a cloud. That was a Cheech and Chong cloud rolling out of her lungs.
Yeah,
everybody does it.
Yeah.
The neighbors were smelling the smoke in her kitchen when that ad was shot. Trust me, Sally Duvall is not kidding around. I love the image of a woman who's probably, if not in her 60s, pushing 60, just sitting in a really nicely appointed kitchen, picking up that glass bong and just. It's like, yeah, thank you. There's a little bit of a refreshing image from a potential congressperson.
And you're meeting the voters where it matters, you know? You're not talking about all this crap that you're not going to do. You're talking about what's important to people. We've seen in red states like Texas, pot be legalized. Montana, South Dakota, which got overturned or whatever through some political process. But people want to get stoned, especially the oldsters. I don't know, maybe the kids are laying off. Maybe it's like Facebook. The kids don't do it anymore because grandma's on Facebook now. But the oldsters definitely want to take a big, long pull. They've earned it.
I will say there is something to be said. I guarantee you there's a little sliver of the younger population that because weed is being legalized, because grandma's hitting the bong, they're like, screw that. I don't want to do that. That's for old people. I'll just live a straight edge life. And then again, as we've already discussed, then they turn 23 and it's right to the gutter with them every single time.
See, I don't think they're going straight edge. They're just going on to their next thing. I don't know what it is. Bath salts, are those still around? I don't know what the kids are doing, but they're doing something to get all hopped up. Goofenthal, is that back? Yeah.
Bath salts and then that Russian thing, crocodile, which rots you from the inside. Those are fun drugs.
There you go.
Number 3 on your top 5 at 9, Queensland, Australia, lovely part of the world. The health department in that city, in that area of Australia, is encouraging citizens to please poop at work.
Yeah, okay, done.
And by the way, this isn't because I thought when I saw this headline, they were going to say between 5 and 6 p.m. the plumbing system can't handle all of the people finally taking a dump at home. It's not that at all. It's simply because they're saying it's obvious a lot of people find it difficult to work. It's a natural thing. Difficult to poo at work. It's a natural thing. It's better for your body when your body taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, I got a full load for delivery. You got to let it go. Don't hold it back. Hemorrhoids, internal blockages as the result of people. Listen, when you're touching cloth, get to the toilet. That's what they're trying to say. Poo paranoia is what they're calling it. People who are afraid to poo at work. Happy to say, never been an issue for this guy.
You think that's going to show up on a motivational poster that they put up on the walls at work? Poop at work.
I want to work for a company where the CEO is not afraid to have a poster of them sitting on the throne with a big smile on their face.
I wanted to do that as a radio promo, the 4 of us, and you could only see our feet with our pants around our ankles in stalls, but it got shot down. I've got the slogan right here. Don't be an oaf. Leave your desk to pinch a loaf.
There you go.
That's pretty.
Man, that's poetry right there, brother. Yesterday in Atlanta, number 2 on your top 5 at 9, a little bit of trouble at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. This is the world's busiest airport. And honestly, it's a miracle things like this don't happen more often. An Airbus A350, a Delta Airbus, that is a ginormous plane that was flying from Atlanta to Tokyo after about 10 a.m. yesterday, was heading down it was taxiing for departure, and its wingtip struck the tail of an Endeavor air flight, a little Bombardier, one of those little commuter jets. The wingtip of the giant Airbus struck the little Bombardier tail, the tail, and knocked it right off the plane. I mean, literally, it detailed the plane as if it were a shrimp about to be eaten. It just cut the tail right off. They were on alternate taxiways when it occurred. 221 people on the Tokyo-bound flight. There were 56 people aboard the smaller plane, which was heading for Louisiana. No injuries. Again, these are is moving slow, but there is video today. I've seen now. There is video of the incident, and it is just like, wow. When you look at how busy those taxiways are, it is, as I said, it's kind of amazing it doesn't happen a little bit more often. I've never heard of anything like this happening, but no injuries reported. Everybody was fine. They obviously had to curb both. Well, the Bombardier plane's not going anywhere for a long time. The bigger Airbus, they had to make sure that wing's all okay. But it literally looks like a hot knife going right through butter, though. I mean, it's a little discouraging to realize how easy it is to knock the tail off of an airplane.
God dang! Thank God no one was hurt. I mean, it didn't knock enough tail off to take out the back row. But might have been kind of fun if both the pilots would have got out of their planes and just started road raging and fighting right there on the tarmac. Would have been a nice touch. Relatable.
It would have been amazing. Are you kidding? That would be the most watched video in the history of YouTube if that had happened. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9, the Twins are back. That's right. They won last night. They've lost 15 of their last 21. I probably shouldn't get so excited. But no, they're still... Listen, they're still 9 games over 500, and most importantly, have a 3-game edge for the last wild card spot in the playoffs. So win last night over the Angels 10-5. And, there was a few home runs. There was good pitching. There was all the great things. But most importantly, far more importantly than any of that, they brought back the rally sausage, the summer sausage from earlier in the season. They have resuscitated it. It's back in the dugout. And it's got to just be disgusting at this point.
Oh, man. And you got to take her all the way down to September 29th, I think. Rocco Baldelli on the original Twins rally sausage.
And there's no doubt that when that thing opens up, whoever's touching it is in deep trouble. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that we are carrying around something that is very, very unhealthy to the human body.
Rally sausage!
It's and that was a while ago. Now it's back. Yeah. Kyle Farmer was asked after the game, and he goes, well, all I can tell you is it doesn't smell good right now. I know that much. Man. Listen, if you guys are going to continue to win, then I think every member of that team should have a sausage carried around. Hell, stick it in your pants for all I care. But let's win some baseball games. What do you say, boys?
Get her done.
Got to get her done. And as long as we're talking playoffs, well, hang on. You know what? I would almost be remiss. I almost forgot. Oh my gosh, Bloomington. I apologize.
Yeah.
I had every intention of giving Bloomington a little morning shout out here on the show. Lovely Bloomington, Minnesota. We're thinking of you. Glad to have you with us this morning.
Home of the original Blooming Onion.
Really?
No,
that ain't true.
Made that up. No, it's not true. It's not
shout out to Shantytown Burger, though. That place is good.
Oh, my God. They have the olive cream cheese burger. Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
No,
Put
they
it on
had
your agenda.
There's a floral population down there, tulips and roses. They do great work, and the competition they used to have, it was the first guy to get 2,000 pounds of blooms. Therefore, Bloomington is where the town name came from.
There it is.
There it is.